Liberal soft-on-crime policies that encourage shoplifting, leading to horrible consequences. An 83-year-old grandfather and Home Depot employee, Gary Razor, was just trying to do the right thing and stop a thief from stealing over $800 worth of pressure washers. But the lowlife shoved him to the ground, and weeks later, Gary died due to complications from injuries during that attack. The suspect is still on the loose as a medical examiner rules his death a homicide. Thieves in North Carolina basically have a license to steal. If the merchandise is valued at less than $1,000, the shoplifter will get slapped with just a weak misdemeanor charge, not even a felony. And Gary's son is speaking out about the horrible crime. Watch.
It's just heartbreaking, right? I mean, my dad was just trying to do a job, right? And now he's no longer with us. So it's paramount to me and my family that we find this particular person and that he receives the justice he so richly deserves.
And robberies are getting so bad in Philly, a gas station owner had to hire Kevlar vest-wearing security guards with AR-15s to protect his store from the city's rampant crime problem. The business owner's tired of the nonsense.
We are tired from this all nonsense. Robbery, drug trafficking, racketings, all kind of hanging around in all gangs. They're forcing us to hire the security, high-level security, state level.
Well, Geraldo, they do tell you in a lot of these bigger stores, if someone shoplifts, just let them do it. I guess maybe this is what happens.
That's one way to handle the issue. The other is the way Saks or the big stores on Fifth Avenue handled George Floyd. They put wire fences around and armed guards like the Philadelphia service station. The problem, Jesse, is that there has been a repudiation of the social contract. In the old days, it's a little shoplifting here, a little shoplifting there, but basically people paid for what they took from these self-service stores. That's how they became so popular. You know, it was an efficient way to do commerce. Now there is just this casual, callous, reckless disregard for the law. It is, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. But I think that the arc of history will solve this because they will confront it with more and more of the armed guards. I remember in the old days in the bodega, Judge, you probably remember this, where they used to put someone with a shotgun behind the cashier. So you come and you stick up the bodega, say the reason the cops are there is because it's been robbed 13 times in 3 months. There's a guy there who's going to say, stop. And if you don't stop, there will be a violent response because society cannot sustain that kind of arrogant disregard for the law.
And this guy is on the loose. There has to be video of him because there's cameras all in these stores, Judge. Hopefully we get him.
Well, I mean, if you have a law enforcement agency that has the ability to seek out individuals as opposed to just enough law enforcement or police officers to handle the crimes as they come in. You know, you've got to have warrant squads. You have to have squads that are looking for, criminals who are on the loose. I mean, the police have been defunded. They don't have what we used to have where, even I could assign among my criminal investigators, you're doing this, and you're doing this. Here's the issue, and I just want people to understand this. This guy, once he's caught, can be charged with homicide.
Sure.
He can be charged with a reckless homicide. There is causation between the injury. And, the defendant will claim, well, if I did that to a 30-year-old, he wouldn't have died. Well, you take your victim as you find him. Mm-hmm. OK, so it is absolutely a homicide that they're looking at this guy for. The problem is we live in a society that is becoming, more cold and more inhumane, criminals more emboldened. Who's going to step up and do something about this when we've got this social justice baloney that they're proposing? I mean, at some point we'll maybe get to what Geraldo's talking about, but I don't see it happening. When you've got 10 robberies in Chicago in 2 hours, criminals are on high right now, and they know nobody's looking for them. Nobody wants to arrest them. No one wants to get in a fight. And this guy dies because he's trying to stop a guy from taking 2 power washers or pressure cookers or whatever they were. And then in California this past weekend, a guy ends up coming out and shooting a guy who was stealing from this shop mart or whatever. The guy shoots back at him and kills him, and they don't charge him with murder. They're saying it was self-defense.
Wow.
So what's happening is our society is now standing down. The law is protecting this stand down. People, when they see this, are stepping back. They don't want to get involved. They get shot and killed. Or they're taking out their cameras. We're in a mess in this country.
Yeah, the thieves used to hit the warehouse, or they used to hit the trucks. Now they just waltz right into the store, grab what they want, and stroll out of there.
Just like you with the Christmas tree. Taking a Christmas tree home from Fox. Imagine the reverse. I don't know how the situation would play out. The reverse, that Mr. Razor were alive, but the offender was dead. Imagine how that would be covered. Right? It would be he was a vigilante. Yeah. This person was a victim of an oppressed society. This happens barely a peep. Even with video like that, it is clear that businesses this large probably tell everyone not to get involved. That's what insurance is for. But to Geraldo's point, there's a message there, and that message is contagious. Rob these places until they move out. This is a slow roll looting operation. They don't care if these places leave. That they don't care about the people that are suffering, because they're whether they're mini marts or their clothing stores are being shut down, or because of riots they never reopened. Right. They don't care. Yep. So the thing is, you have the insurance companies that are going to, well, you know what, we don't want anybody to get hurt, and at the same time, well, they're just close all of these down. But this is like a metaphorical snapshot of the last 2 years. The casualness that Geraldo talks about, no fear of repercussion. And the reason why there's no fear of repercussion, because if there is repercussions, you're a racist. You're part of the oppressive regime. We're still living in that post-Ferguson era where we allowed the media and we allowed activists to tell us that law enforcement is permanently stained. There's nothing you can do about it, right? And even prisons. So this guy was a repeat offender, menace to society, already known. Not in prison, because we agreed with the assumption that prisons were somehow offensive, and we should have less prisons, not more. We need more prisons, because right now we're the eggs that are getting broken to make this progressive omelet. Where are reparations for victims? If we honestly believe that the origins of all of these problems are 400 years of oppression and slavery, right? And then that caused us to change all of these policies. No cash bail, reduced sentences. Where are the reparations? It doesn't even matter the color of the skin for the criminal. Where are the reparations for the victims that were killed, attacked, raped by people that were let out based on the assumption that all of these rules were racist or oppressive based on 400 years of persecution? That's an interesting lawsuit.
Well, I would hope that the executives at Home Depot would do right by this family. Yes. And maybe give some restitution there.
I certainly hope so. They shouldn't have to, right? Like that. You just said something. Where's the AARP?
Yeah.
Where's, who's standing up for him? He was 83 years old. He loved to work. He loved to go to work. His wife, I was reading an article about how much she misses him. The son obviously misses him. The grandchildren are going to miss him. He's 83 years old, healthy enough, he could go to work every day. And he was from the generation, as Jimmy Fallon pointed out, I want to give him credit for saying it first, that he's from the generation that if they saw something, they did something. And then we were from the generation, if you see something, you say something. And now it's like, just pretend you don't see it.
Yes.
And then order it from Amazon, because you don't have to worry about going to a store and getting it. And I also wonder, what's happening to the working class? The gentleman who was interviewed, who's the shop owner, who said that they're being forced to hire security. This is an entrepreneurial immigrant who is in our country, who wanted to take a risk. He's doing everything that America is offering, and we are not holding up our end of the social contract for him. Do you know in Washington, D.C., the candy is behind the glass now? So you have to call a shop person to ask them to go behind to get you a Snickers bar. That's how far this has gone.
And it gives you time to think about getting the Snickers bar.
Yeah, and
you don't want to think about it.
That's a silver lining, Jesse.
It's very satisfying if you haven't heard.
I have heard.
Anyway, I feel for this family, and I do wonder, like, where are the associations? We always ask, where was AOC when women were being attacked in New York?
I think you're right. When you go back to the idea of ordering everything from Amazon, we've all retreated into our cubby holes, and we don't have to go out there except for this guy that's working. And if you think about that limit, it said like anything under $1,000. This guy had $800. So it's not like the shoplifting stopped him. It encouraged him. And then you have this poor old fella who's just looking at this and going, wow, they're stealing. That's a lot of stuff. And
they could lower that. Can't they just get either the city council or the state legislator to drop it from 800 to 400 or 300? Because the criminals know the law better than most people.
For the most part, it is. But what's happening is prosecutors are saying we're going to ignore whatever ceiling the law reads and just say we're not going to prosecute those crimes.
If they prosecute them at all,
But this is a manslaughter.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. This is not shoplifting. This is manslaughter.
Absolutely.
Good point.
All right, we're going to continue to follow it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.